Hello everyone. I'd like to show you some more photographs from NESWEC to give you another bit of an idea of what we're doing, what we're up to. And these are from a weekend at the Yorksteiner School last month in June. Our weekends last from Friday evening until Sunday midday. So hopefully people have time to get there after work and time to get back home again on the Sunday. And during that time together, we can usually follow up on 2 or 3 different themes with the students. And we also always sing. We always have time to sing. We always have time for some artistic activities together and for some discussion about our self-development ideas and yeah, how are things going with everybody is definitely something that we always make time for at these weekend sessions together. So in June, one of our topics was nutrition. And here are some of our students in a practical activity, which you'll see more of in a minute. But nutrition, it's a very interesting topic today. There are so many different views. It's something that a lot of families really struggle with, really worry about. So it's important that our students have time to discuss and explore this, to know the information that they need, and to be able to make good decisions about what children are eating in their kindergartens, and to work with parents too. This is an interesting quote from Rudolf Steiner, which is from more than 100 years ago. And he's saying at that time, 1924, nutrition as it is today does not supply the strength necessary for manifesting the spirit in physical life. A bridge can no longer be built from thinking to will and action. Food plants no longer contain the forces that people need for this. Now, this is a very significant statement, isn't it? And we did a lot to look at his ideas about nutrition and why he would be saying something like this and what it means for us today, and from all the new ideas that there are about what children should eat, what people should eat around. And it was a very good topic to explore, with plenty of time for practical activities. Here the students are making beautiful mandalas out of fruit. This is often a beautiful thing to do with children and really makes them very interested in eating the fruit. We looked at some more of Steiner's ideas. It's not a question of just filling oneself with food, but of food developing forces in the body. And we went on to really to try and think, what does it mean to be inspired by forces in food, but for the forces in our body to really get into action. And we started looking at foodstuffs in terms of their vitality, in terms of their life forces, and what would the impact of different kinds of food have on our life forces. So it was a fascinating topic. One of the kinds of food that we talked about was grains. And grains are very much for a form building food, so very good for children who are still building their physical bodies. And here we were trying rye cakes. These cakes are made with rye flour and rye flakes. And they've got some jam and some honey on them. One of the students brought in a jar of local honey, so we thought we'd try that on some of them. And we were looking at different ways that you can work with grains that are simple and attractive to children. The children can be involved in helping to prepare and will enjoy eating. So here's some more of our food on the table. And in this one, you can see over here, there's a grain dish, a savory grain dish made with barley and beans and some vegetables and some warming spices, which make it slightly sweet. And something, yes, that children like to eat. And of course, when you're working with a group of children in a kindergarten, children will often try things that they wouldn't try at home. And we repeat our menus seasonally. There are seasonal changes, but often the same dish is served on the same day of the week for some time. And that really helps children to try things which perhaps they wouldn't try if they were just served as a one-off at home. So all in all, it was a really interesting weekend. We talked about the morality of food, how it's produced, how it gets to us, how we deal with the waste, composting and recycling. Yeah, we really had a lot going on. And this is a beautiful quote to finish with. It's not the bread that feeds us, but life and spirit which feed us through the bread. And this is a Christian mystic from the 17th century, and Angelus Silesius, to think of being fed not by the bread itself, but by the life and spirit which comes through it. This wasn't the only topic for the weekend. There was also a session on safeguarding as it specifically might throw up challenges in the Waldorf school or kindergarten. Our kindergartens and schools are often very warm, inclusive, and close communities, and that can be challenging from a safeguarding point of view. So it's something we needed to look at with the students. And then they also had 3 sessions on embryology. So now they were looking at the child before birth, that journey through the 9 months of pregnancy, and then the early weeks and months after birth. And they were looking at the needs of the child and the needs of the mother, and all the magical things that are happening during that time. And as part of those embryology sessions, they did some clay modeling. They sang lullabies, and they had a lot of time to talk and discuss and share ideas with the experienced anthroposophical midwife that we'd asked to come as a guest tutor. So that just gives you an idea of what one of our weekends would be like, as a contrast to the longer residentials in Elmfield School in Stourbridge, which I spoke about in the last video, which are mostly focused on arts and crafts. There are always artistic activities in all our time together, but in those longer residentials, we can spend more time on projects, as you saw in the last set of slides. We have 4 weekends in the first year in York and 5 weekends in the second year. So we're really trying to make the best of people's traveling time. And in between those weekends, we have online sessions where we can reflect on what we've worked on together at the weekends and take it a little bit further. We find that a very fruitful way of working. Students go away with new ideas, they can digest them, and then we can come back together online and work on them a bit further. If you'd like to know more, you might be interested in our introductory online sessions. They're taking place this Friday and Saturday. So you need to contact me as soon as you can if you would like to register for those and join us. There's going to be some discussion about play, some videos of the sorts of things that we do with the children, little games and a puppet play and some craft ideas. And we'll also talk about what is it like to take this training, or one of the other 2 Waldorf trainings for early childhood that run in Britain. We can say a little bit about each of those. And we'll have some of our NESWEC students there so that you can ask them questions directly if you'd like to. So there's a little bit of information there. Please look at the website and contact me if you would like to register. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye for now.